comfort of Lone Depot Park, where Ryan Gusto is on the mound for the Marlins today. The starting lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies is brought to you by FPL. Turner, Stott, Harper, Bohm, Real Muto, Marsh, De La Cruz, Crawford, and Sosa. Phillies have lost 8 of 11 coming out of the break. They've scored 0 or 1 runs in 6 of those 11 games. We are underway on time at 12:10 this afternoon. And Ryan Gusto on the mound for the Marlins. No wins, 2 losses, a .450 ERA in 7 appearances in 2 starts this season. Trey Turner leads things off, 1 for 9 in the series, 0 for 4 at the plate in Game 2, and 0 for 3 lifetime against Ryan Gusto. Turner playing in his 106th game of the season as he bends out of the way of that bending curveball. 2 balls and 1 strike on the Phillies' designated hitter today, Trey Turner.
Yeah, for Ryan Gusto, just one previous start against the Philadelphia Phillies. Back in Philly in June. Home plate umpire Shane Livensparger needing a breather right now after that foul ball.
That knocked him around a little bit. That start you were alluding to for Gusto in June, he was charged with a loss, yielded 5 runs on 8 hits over 4 2/3. Ouch. Caught him flush and square off that mask.
Well, if for some reason Livensparger didn't get his wake-up call at the hotel, he just got it now. Hope he's okay.
The rest of the umpiring crew today: Dexter Kelly's at 3rd, Dan Bellino, the crew chief, at 2nd, Dan Merzel at 1st. Gusto ready with a 2-2. And Turner bangs one up the middle and a leadoff base hit for the Phillies. Turner's 2nd hit in the series.
Let's check in on the Doral Kia defense behind Ryan Gusto. There's Hernandez, Marcy, and Ruiz in the outfield. No change up the middle. Otto and Xavier. Javier Sinoja starting at 3rd. Liam over at 1st. And Brian Navarreto is behind the plate.
Leadoff base hit for Trey Turner. Here's Bryson Stott. Leo Jimenez was scheduled to start today. His stomach is bothering him, as is apparently Kyle Schwarber's, who's missing his 2nd consecutive game in this series. A guy that has not missed many games throughout parts of 5 seasons with the Phillies. Here is Stott batting .253, and he lays off the cutter inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Always have to be aware of Turner over at first base. 17 stolen bases this year, and he always, every year, has a tremendous ratio of stolen bases and caught stealing. Been caught just twice.
Big lead not going. 2-0 on the top rail for strike 1. Marlins are looking for their first sweep of the Phillies in a series of 3+ games since June of 2019. In a series of 3 games or more against Philadelphia, they have not swept them at home since May of 2017. Changeup is golfed in the air to center. Plenty of room out there for Marcy, who was not scheduled to start today. And he puts the squeeze on out number 1 for Ryan Gusto.
That's that good pitch we talked about, the changeup. Coming into the game, opposing batters were hitting just 111 against the Ryan Gusto changeup.
Let's go to look at 2nd-year manager for the Marlins, Clayton McCullough, whose boys wrapped up a 1-0 victory over the Phillies last night for just the 4th time in franchise history. The last time the Marlins beat the Phillies 1-0. Here's Bryce Harper, and he grounds one to 2nd. There's 1. There's 2. And the inning is over. And Gusto back to 500. Let's see if they can get back over 500. Otto Lopez going to lead things off, facing Jesus Luzardo. As we get a look at our Hard Rock Bet odds this afternoon, with the over on 7.5 Marlins hits, sitting at +110, the under at -145. Luzardo very pesky. Here's your Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia starting 9 for the Marlins. Lopez, Hernandez, Hicks, Edwards, Sinoja, Stowers, Ruiz, Navarreto, Marcy. And Lopez going to lead things off. He is 4 for 18 in his career against Jesus Luzardo. Lopez 3 for 9 in this series with a triple. Jesus Luzardo making his 7th career start against the Marlins today, his 3rd this season. As you get a look at his season numbers for the Phillies, a 3.31 ERA, making his 22nd start. He's in search of his 10th victory. Bouncing ball to shortstop, Edmundo Sosa making his 6th start over there today. And there's one out as Lopez bounces down.
Let's check on the scouting report for Jesus Luzardo. Everybody calls him Zeus. 5-year deal with the Phillies, so he's locked into South Philly for a while. 15 wins right here at Lone Depot, and just recently a tough loss against the Yankees, a 1-0 loss. He went 7 innings, gave up just a Paul Goldschmidt home run.
That, my friends, is what you call a tough luck loser. Nice to see Jesus get selected to his first career All-Star game a couple of weeks ago. Pitched the perfect 5th inning with a strikeout. And he'll work on Heriberto Hernandez, who's batting with nobody on and 1 out here in the last of the first. Hernandez 0 for 11 in his career against Luzardo. You mentioned Luzardo losing his last start 1-0. The Marlins winning last night 1-0. I had previously mentioned it in the top of the first. But it was the 4th time in franchise history the Marlins beat the Phillies 1-0 last night. As Hernandez hits a bounding ball towards short, he's out 6-3, and there's 2 away.
Here's the Doral Kia defense behind Luzardo. Brandon Marsh, Crawford, and De La Cruz. Brian De La Cruz has been hot offensively. Edmundo Sosa giving Trey Turner a little bit of time off. Turner DHing, Stott at second. Bowman Harper at the corners, and Real Muto did not play last night. He's in there today.
And here's Liam Hicks batting with nobody on and 2 outs. So the last 1-0 win for the Marlins over the Phillies, September 24th of 2015. The RBI produced by the Marlins in that game came courtesy of JT Real Muto. Brian Morris beat Alec Asher, and A.J. Ramos collected his 29th save of the season.
Got a baby, A.J. You know, the one thing that we've seen the last couple of years from Jesus Luzardo that we did not see when he pitched for the Marlins, he now has incorporated a sweeper, and he throws that close to 40% of the time.
An opponent's batting just $118 off of his sweeper this season.
Yeah, as a Marlin, he was basically 4 seams, sliders, changeups, and sinkers.
Let's take a look at our Toyota trend this afternoon. Look at the whiffs on sweepers this season. Luzardo running away with it.
Good to see Max. Max would have climbed up there a little bit.
And he's going to be out for a while. Let's take a look at Luzardo's arsenal. StatCast powered by Google Cloud, and there's that aforementioned sweeper that leads the charge.
Yeah, we've told you a little bit about it. You can see he throws that more than anything else. A 4-seamer. He'll mix in some sinkers, a good changeup, and he'll get his fastball to the upper 90s.
Hicks flies that sweeper to center, playable for Justin Crawford. An 11 pitch, bottom of the first. It's a shot at ball and chain on Calle Ocho on a breezy early Wednesday afternoon for a matinee between the Marlins and the Phillies. No scores. We go to the second. And Alec Bohm fouls off the first pitch slider. Let's take a look at the double play that ended the top of the first. It was off the bat of Bryce Harper, and the double play is brought to you by Doral Kia.
Yeah, ball cut inside to Harper, tied him up just enough to hit that ground ball to get the 4-6-3.
Bryce Harper in the last 24 hours, or say the last 12, has been subject to a lot of controversy. The Phillies are struggling. Harper has not been good in July. And when pressed on the matter after the ball game last night, Harper admitted that we need some help. He would like another bat. He would like another arm. And it's actually, even as of around 12 o'clock today, becoming a little bit contentious. He has a history with Dave Dombrowski, who said last season he did not play at an elite level. That stuck with Harper in the offseason. But now Don Mattingly has spoke up with the Philadelphia media pregame today, essentially saying, I don't like when my guys say that, because you're essentially saying that some of your teammates in here are not good enough to be here. Let the GM basically do his job. I'm paraphrasing, but you don't worry about what kind of help we need here. There's a chopper towards third, sitting back on it, Sanoha. This is a long throw to first and a nice pick by Hicks. One away. Let's take a listen to what Bryce Harper had to say last night.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need some help, but I think we've proved, pretty much all year we've done a pretty good job. But anytime you can, get some help in here and reinforcements, I think it helps. I think obviously everybody knows what we need, so I think I've said it over the last couple of days. We need both.
Here is JT Realmuto with one out, nobody on. Hut, your thoughts on all this?
Well, my thoughts, first of all, Dave Dombrowski and Don Mattingly have too much class to say if you weren't hitting 165 in July, that help might be here. So they have too much class to say that. I can say it.
Yes, you can.
But and if you know the track record of Dave Dombrowski, you know that he's going to get some additions to the Philly lineup.
He does every season.
Absolutely. So there's kind of a contentious relationship between those two anyway.
And again, that goes back to last offseason when Dave alluded to Harper no longer being elite. I think Harper even sported a T-shirt at some point that said no longer elite or something along those lines. And in a city like Philadelphia, when things get a little bit contentious, the media is going to run with that. And you played there. I'm sure guys start to look at their phones in the clubhouse and they see what the manager is saying. They see Harper's comments. How do you know the 26th guy on the roster is not feeling like, is he talking about me when he says we need more help?
That's right. Well, in the 70s, we weren't looking at our phones, but other than that.
It was a pager. Is there a pager? Rotaries? 2-2 to Realmuto.
So let me take this one more step. I think it's a situation because of what is going on with the Phillies. It's even more important for the Marlins to try to take advantage of that and win this game today when there's a little dissension in that other clubhouse.
It's interesting. The deadline is looming. Phillies are floundering. Realmuto pops that foul. It's just, it's a big story. It's going to get picked up. You've got the star, Donnie, a former star, and many believe a Hall of Famer in his own right. His son is the general manager of the team. And I'll give you the exact quote from Donnie. He said, players like being GMs and making calls and spending other people's money. I'll just let it go at that. I mean, Dave has been doing this a while. He's never really backed away from trying to get guys. We're trying to get better. We're trying to get better at the deadline. And alluding to what you just talked about, Hut, you're exactly right. Dave Dombrowski has never shied away from making a deal to try to win it all.
No, he hasn't. And by the way, not just shying away from throwing quality strikes is Ryan Gusto, a good sinker to strike out Realmuto. Two quick outs here in the second.
Yeah, we can move on from the Harper stuff, but interesting nonetheless. So 2 out. Here is Brandon Marsh, who takes a cutter down low for ball 1. Marsh 0 for 9 in the series. Good starting pitching so far today for the Marlins from Gusto, after excellent starting pitching from Sandy Alcantara once again last night. Bouncing ball up the middle to the backhand of Edwards. Marlins displayed great defense last night, and they're doing it again here today. And if you're one of those lucky fans that has not visited Lone Depot Park, we can't wait for you to join us. Some of our nation's finest in attendance, hanging out with Billy the Marlin. We're scoreless as we go to the bottom of the second inning, where Xavier Edwards is going to lead things off. X having a good series, 3 for 7. And a good homestand at that, batting .316. 6 for 19 at the plate, a double, 2 walks, 3 stolen bases for Edwards. He's collected hits in 4 of his last 5 games. Came up empty on that. Luzardo sweeper. It's nothing at 2. That one fooled him.
There used to be an old adage. I think it's changed today because of all the analytics and how guys can improve faster. But there used to be an old adage that left-handers kind of matured at a later date. When you think about it, Jesus has been with the Nationals, the Athletics, the Marlins, and he's really come into his own as a Philly.
3rd round pick in 2016. Traded to Oakland with Blake Trinan and Sheldon Noisy for Ryan Matson and Sean Doolittle in 2017. and then traded to Miami for Starling Marte in July of 2021.
And he's still just 28.
And now he's a rich man. Good eye by Edwards. Count is full. Marlins had lost 6 consecutive series to Philadelphia before the 1-0 win last night. They're now 33-23 at home, and there is ball 4. That is a nice battle back there by Edwards, and the Marlins have their first base runner of the game. And before Javier Sanoja can bat, a quick message from FPL.
At FPL, our teams are working every day because reliability isn't an option, it's a commitment. FPL, working for you every single day.
I was just thinking, too, with Luzardo facing Xavier Edwards, 2 guys who really do a lot for their communities, too.
Yes, they
here
do.
in South Florida.
I would imagine they've probably even helped one another. Sanoja flies one to right. Edwards was on the move. I think the Marlins had a little hit and run on there. And Javi flies out to right for out number 1.
Yeah, you don't see it too often. X was moving. If he's looking over his shoulder, looking back at the plate, it might be an indication of a hit and run. Because Javi did chase a pitch that was out of the zone.
Kind of like that, too, because facing a guy like Luzardo, who has just been so good, you have to acknowledge that. You got to put a little pressure on him, Hunt. It's very hard to just start going station to station and try to score 3 runs on 9 hits off the guy, right? So why not try to manufacture a little something, make something happen?
Absolutely. Yeah, and there was a time early in Jesus' career that he was just a rare back and throw hard. Now he takes a little bit off the sinker. He'll throw in mid-90s. His 4-seamer, a little harder.
He's learned to be a pitcher.
Yeah.
The spectacled left-hander. It's set with a 1-0 offering. Ready to deal to Stowers. That's the second disengagement. We'll see if Edwards goes here. The Marlins have been doing a lot of stealing and a lot of running lately.
Yeah, they've had steals in 6 straight ball games. 14. Be exact, over that 6-game span.
Will Edwards go? No. Stowers takes a sinker right down Broadway for strike 1. Said Edwards was having a good homestand. How about Stowers's? 2 doubles, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, a couple of walks, 6 for 19 at the plate. Falls behind Luzardo, 1 and 2.
Yeah, I was looking at the comparisons. Of course, he was a little more consistent with his at-bats last year. Kyle Stowers against lefties last year hit .253. That's respectable.
Very much so.
It's been a struggle for him this year, though.
A first-inning homer last night from Stowers, the difference. Stowers takes a sweeper outside.
Notice how Luzardo gave Xavier that long pause. He waited till the last minute to throw that pitch. That time quickly.
And a check swing and appeal down to third. And Stowers did not go. And so Stowers, very similar to Edwards, is battling back. The count is full. He's disengaged twice. You got to imagine X probably going here.
Yeah, let's see if X goes.
There he goes. And that is taken for strike 3. Edwards steals second standing up. Stowers down looking on a sweeper. And a man in scoring position with 2 out for Esteri Ruiz, who's had some success in his career against Luzardo. He's 3 for 6 with a couple of homers. This was in May, and that was a no-doubter in the Sunday Teal Tops. Ruiz has 5 homers this season, and then fast forward to June. He took him deep again.
Yeah, he made sure he got to the ballpark, got that uni on in a hurry.
The Luzardo strikeout of Stowers, his first of the day, as he delivers an 0-1 to Ruiz, and he's ahead of him 0-2. Good changeup. The stolen base for Edwards, his 18th of the season. He's at second with 2 out. Marlins strike first. Last night, the Phillies. Oh, let me start with the Marlins, actually. When scoring first this season, they're 39-17. The Phillies, when the opponent scores first, they fell to 19 games under 500 last night. That was a 1-0 Marlins win. Not insurmountable by any means, but the Phillies obviously struggle mightily when they don't jump out first in ball games. Not sure how much Donnie can help them in that fashion.
Yeah, well, also we've chronicled, too, a much better team at home than on the road.
Oh, yes. Swing and a miss. Side retired. Marlins leave a man in scoring position.
Just before the game, he says really happy with what he's seen from Gusto as of late. His big thing, they've completely changed his whole plan of attack. He used to really lean on 2-3 pitches. Now he wants to make sure that he's tapping into his entire arsenal. We've heard that consistent messaging before. Mosca said he's doing a great job despite not really seeing the outcomes there. Game-wise and win-wise, he hasn't been falling behind or walking guys, and he's doing it all the major league level. He feels like he's been a little bit unlucky, but they're happy he's throwing strikes.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. It was interesting hearing from his manager, Don Mattingly, before the ball game, as well as Ryan De La Cruz, who's 8 for 11 at the plate to start his Phillies tenure, will do the batting. 7-8-9 due up for Philadelphia. The 0-1 pitch is knocked foul off to the right, but Donnie's saying before the game, very complimentary and praising Gusto. Look, it's not easy to be a young guy and work in relief and then be asked to start. You've been up and down from AAA to the big leagues this season. But they really like what Gusto's been able to do as De La Cruz swings and misses on a fastball. And it's the second strikeout for Gusto, his first on the fastball.
And so far, you have to like what Gusto's been doing early on in this game. There's a look at what he's done the last 4 games. He used the 4-seamer. He's got a really good arsenal. Clayton McCullough talked about that prior to the game, about the arsenal. When his arsenal is in the strike zone, extremely effective, and he's been that today.
There's Justin Crawford, 1 for 7 in the series. Six in a row retired by Gusto.
And remember, he had that relief appearance in Houston, a couple of innings, couple of shutout innings, his former organization, and he got it up a couple notches with the fastball.
I think he might have a hard time letting his old organization go, because look at his spikes. I think he's still got the orange and navy blue Astros cleats. Oh no, it's his patriotic ones. Off from our center field camera, it looks like there's a little orange and blue in there. Fastball just missed outside on Crawford, and the count goes to 3-1. I really like those. Those are sharp spikes.
Those are nice. You got to get a pair of those, Kyle.
Yeah. Now, what purpose would they serve me? Big high chopper. Going to be a tough play. Who wants it? Edwards is going to have to put it in his back pocket either way. Crawford can really fly. That's the second hit of the day for Philadelphia.
Yeah, that was going to be a base hit all the way. Once that ball got so high in the air, and with Crawford's speed, it actually looked like Xavier was going to try to make a play, though, but it would have been ill-advised.
By the time he would have barehanded that baseball, Crawford was already way past first. So there is speed at first, and the batter is Edmundo Sosa. Crawford has 13 stolen bases this season. Turner and Stott lead the team with 17. Turner on deck. Here's Sosa, who was 0 for 4 in Game 2. He takes a sinker for strike 1. The Phillies are a below 500 team during day games this season. The Marlins above 500 at 24-22. There goes Crawford. And Sosa hit it foul.
Sosa is the Phillies edition of Javier Sanoja.
Yeah.
Starting at shortstop today. He's had 11 starts at third, 11 at second, 19 starts in left field. So a couple of guys who have extreme value to their teams.
Sanoja making his 52nd start of the season at third base. Sosa's in his 8th major league season. You're right. Both super utility. Phillies got Sosa for JoJo Romero in 2022. In September of last season, he became the first shortstop in Phillies history to hit 3 homers in a single game. And that came against the Marlins in an 11-1 Phillies win. Crawford not going, and the 1-2 is hit in the air outside of first. Over is Hickson Navarreto, and look out, Bryant. He went flying into that railing. How much fun is that guy having? He's making his 6th start of the season, and every opportunity that Navarretos has had a chance to play, it's a smile from ear to ear all game long.
Well, when you've played all those games in the minor leagues, 765 games in the minor leagues, he enjoys his time here.
Sosa hits another one foul.
It's kind of a nice rotation that Clayton has with, being able to get Liam at first or DH Liam, get Navarrete in against a lefty to spell Joe Mack a little.
The question, Hutt, is going to be how much longer can the Marlins carry 3 catchers? You do have the trade deadline upcoming. Peter really doesn't have to do much of anything if he doesn't want. We'll see what the Marlins do. But with, say, the impending return of a guy like Owen Casey, who started his rehab assignment last night, when he's ready, does that knock the 3rd catcher off the roster? We'll see. Doesn't have to. That shot up the middle into center and a base hit. Edwards made a valiant effort with a diving attempt. And back-to-back one-out singles here in the 3rd inning for Philadelphia, and we'll go back to the top of the order. Major League Baseball news and notes. Yordan Alvarez, did you hear the sound the ball made coming off his bat in Anaheim last night? 35th home run of the season. Garrett Cole, 6 scoreless. Yankees beat the White Sox. They've won 11-15, and Royce Lewis had a pinch hit 2-run walk-off triple. And the Twins, 3-2 win over Kansas City. A lot of people thought Byron Buxton might be a guy the Phillies and Dave Dombrowski would go after, as Turner goes after a first pitch sweeper and he flies it foul into the seats outside of first. There were some reports that Buxton would be willing to waive his no trade clause to go to Philadelphia, but the reports now out of the Twin Cities indicating the Twins are like, we're right in the wild card race. What are we going to do?
I think Buxton had to come out of the game with a little injury, nothing major.
There's been like a half dozen guys in the last 24 hours, trade candidates potentially, that have gotten hurt. Turner flies this one foul off to the left.
You referenced the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp with Owen Casey, who homered in his first at-bat. They won last night, and oddly enough, that broke a 12-game losing streak that they had.
Oh, goodness. So they're back into the win column. So too are the Marlins, who have won 2 straight. Little dribbler back to the mound. Gusto fields and fires a little high to first. There's 2 away. Kelly, let's go downstairs. I think you got a little bit more on Owen Casey for us, don't you?
That's right, guys. Our good Greek movings and storage roster move. You like to see this one. It is Owen Casey.
He swings. It's a high fly ball to left. By his back. Track wall. Gone! A solo shot for Owen Casey. And the Jumbo Shrimp are up 2-0.
1 for 1 with a home run and 2 walks. Yeah, we'll take that one. He's currently on the 10-day IL with that right calf strain. And let me tell you, too, guys, Owen Casey, he was doing really well before hitting the IL. In his last 18 games, was hitting .348 with 6 home runs and 15 RBIs. So the Marlins could definitely use him back, hopefully someday soon.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Clayton said yesterday, maybe a dozen plate appearances, 12 to 14 plate appearances, 11 to 13 might be the magic number. That is line fair, past Sanoha, into left field. The Phillies have a 2-0 lead. The throw is high to second. It's backed up by Hicks. 2-out, 2-run double for Bryson Stott. Phillies jump out first.
Stott, one of the Philly hitters that has been hot since the All-Star break. Just a nice swing there to take that pitch sharply past Sanoha third. He was thinking 2 all the way. was able to get to second, also drove in the 2 runs. But when this ball tails away a little bit, he just took it that way and never hesitated rounding first.
A good throw by Hernandez. That was going to be close at second. Double all the way. 2 RBIs for Stott. Here's Harper. 2-0 Phillies in the third. It's on the inside corner for strike 1 on Harper.
Yeah, I think Clayton was saying about Owen Casey, a couple of games at DH, 1 game in the field, and he thinks he might be ready then. Yeah.
Which is this weekend at some point. But no definitive timeline as Harper swings and misses. 0-2. Harper now 0 for 3 in his career against Gusto as he waits on an 0-2 offering. And swings and misses. Strike 3. Phillies get a pair. 2.5 in the books. And the Phillies lead 2-0.
Behind him in Jacob Marcy. He told me that his son is always mimicking Jacob's batting stance. He's always locked into every play that Jacob is part of. He said in Houston, Jacob Marcy made sure to spend some time with him on the field after every single game, horsing around, playing catch. Now, Navi had a very special message for Jacob. He told him, hey, even through these struggles of your career, you are still a role model to a little kid out there. So remember that every time you take that big league field, guys, wise words from Navarreto and a message every big leaguer should keep in mind.
That is such a great story.
So
Sally.
true.
Thank you.
So true.
And that young little boy whom he is making an impression on, as you mentioned, happens to be his own son. That is awesome. 2-0 Phillies lead. Bottom of the third. Luzardo will face Navarreto, Marcy, and Lopez. Navarreto, the only Marlin in the starting lineup today that's never faced Jesus Luzardo before. And the only Marlin, as we pointed out, who's had a lot of success against him is Esteury Ruiz.
Yeah, this is no question, even for this game, started a tough assignment because the Marlins have struggled. There's no question. It's out there in statistics. They've struggled against left-handed starters. They're 10-17. Only 3 teams have fewer wins against left-handed starters.
Luzardo trying to win 10 games in a season for the 3rd time in his career as his sweeper almost clipped the foot of Navarreto. And I don't know if Jesus doesn't have a great feel for the sweeper, but a couple of times now, and even after that last pitch, he's kind of just been shaking his head a little bit, a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, big year last year, which was 15-7 for the Phillies.
Huge year. Boy, they're fighting him here, Hut. Again, it's hard to rack up hits against Luzardo, but this is now the 3rd time in the last 2 innings he's gone 0-2 to somebody, and they're battling back.
And what you try to do, you battle, you try to get his pitch count up a little bit.
And he struck him out with a good changeup. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Luzardo, now 155 on the season.
Yeah, he was solid all last season. There's the grip on that changeup and the movement. Mentioned the 15-7 record. He had 32 starts through 183 innings.
In the last 22 games started by Luzardo, Wheeler, and Sanchez, the Phillies are 18-4. Strike 1 on Marcy, batting for the first time today.
And overall, 43-17.
And that's something. Strike 2 on Jacob. I think Luzardo knows how patient of a hitter Marcy is, so he has attacked him with a pair of sinkers. That's a sweeper, and they say he went around. Strike 3. Now 4 consecutive strikeouts for Luzardo. Let's step aside for a message from Doral Kia.
Take advantage of a pricito now on all of your favorite new Kia models. Like a new Kia K5, Sportage, Sorento, Soul, and more.
Marlins looking for their first hit today. Here comes Otto Lopez, the hit collector and king this season. Lopez grounded out to Sosa in the bottom of the first.
Just tremendous against the lefties. 388. That's going to go up a little bit.
There you go. There's your first hit of the ball game. Otto Lopez is our blue moon bright spot. Highest average against lefties in a season in franchise history. Well, Martin Prado in 2016 hit .424. Hanley, Jeff Conine in 96. Gary Sheffield slightly behind Otto, batting .392.
There's some terrific names on that list, aren't there?
Martin Prado lives in the Coral Gables area. He quietly comes around. Hernandez bounces out to Bohm at third in the inning. As we take a look at this afternoon's youth player of the ball game, and it is Joseph, who plays for the Miami Cubs in the MYBA. And Joseph's favorite Marlin, Xavier Edwards. Joseph wants to be a scientist when he grows up. It's commendable. Bohm, Real Muto, and Marsh. And Bohm lines a sweeper to center for Marcy. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 4th inning for Gusto.
At the beginning of this game, I'm sure Clayton McCullough and Daniel Moscas would have loved 4, maybe 5 innings. So here Ryan Gusto working in the 4th and has allowed the 2 runs, but has thrown the ball really well.
Yeah, 31 strikes, 13 balls, 47 total pitches now. And here is JT Realmuto. 0 for 1 today, batting .227 on the season with 7 homers and 36 RBIs. Marsh on deck. Putter misses up and away. It's been a great career for JT. We'll see if this last deal he got is his last one. He's in his 13th season. A 3-year, $45 million deal that runs through 2028. He's getting older, a 3-time All-Star. He's won 3 Silver Sluggers, a pair of Gold Gloves. He's been one of the best catchers in baseball since he debuted over a decade ago in Miami.
Hey, 35.
4 times in his career, he's led the league in games started behind the plate. Realmuto will take a 1-out free pass. Get ready for an epic weekend at the ballpark when the Marlins take on the Angels, coming up August 7th through the 9th. Don't miss the exclusive merch for Pokemon Go Night in the Marlins Colombian Heritage Celebration. And plus, the first 5,000 kids at the ballpark that Sunday will receive a special kids lunchbox for Billy's birthday, presented by Pringles. Get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets.
How old is Billy now?
35.
Yeah, doesn't look a day over 20.
You're right. No, 36. Right? It's the 36th season? Yeah. The 37th season. 36th year, 37 season. So I guess he's 37. It's lined out towards right center and a base hit for Marsh. Realmuto on his way to third. Marcy plays it in. And the Phillies, who lead 2-0, have first and third with 1 out.
Yeah, Marsh did a good job, and we've talked about how he has struggled, but here's the curveball. Really a good pitch. Down about ankle high, but Marsh stays back, goes down and gets it. Hey, you can't make a better pitch than that. Way out of the zone. Might have been his gap wedge, maybe a pitching wedge, but he dropped it in there nicely for a base hit.
Darnier had to grab his 60-degree out of the bag. So here's Brian De La Cruz being very aggressive on that first pitch slider from Gusto. De La Cruz, one of 3 Phillies who have struck out facing Gusto today. Gusto got him with a fastball in the 3rd. And De La Cruz batting once again here in the 4th. Crawford on deck. The infield will pinch in. Halfway up the middle. And De La Cruz flies this in the air to shallow right. Esteury Ruiz has a pretty good arm. Will Real Muto test it? He will. It's coming in. And Hicks cuts it off. And it's a sac fly.
He didn't get off one of his best throws.
No, that
on that. I thought Real Muto would maybe hold, maybe go halfway.
We have seen him in some early work throughout the course of the season display a really solid arm from the outfield. Not sure about what. Maybe he didn't even have a great grip on the ball. I don't know. And now Crawford lines one over the leaping Lopez into center. It's the 3rd, or make it the 2nd hit in the inning. And the 3rd base runner for Philadelphia.
It's also the 2nd hit for Justin Crawford.
Line out, a walk, a single, a sac fly, and a 2-out single for Crawford will bring Sosa to the plate. Top of the order due up next. No activity in the Miami bullpen. I'm sure Clayton would love to see Gusto get through 4. And if he'd like, potentially go to his bullpen in the 5th with the top of the order due up for the 3rd time. Sosa with a bouncing ball to 3rd. We'll go the short way to 2nd, inning over. But a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. And it's 3-0 Philadelphia. His catcher today, Brian Navarretto, during the half-inning break. Hashing a few things out, dialing a few things in.
I would imagine talking about Ryan Gusto, stuff he has. How's it look? How's it feel?
Well, the pitch count very manageable for Gusto. Nobody's gotten up in the bullpen yet, but the Phillies leading 3-0, so maybe Clayton will ask for a 5th inning out of his starter today. Meanwhile, for the Marlins, who need a little offense, it'll be Hicks, Edwards, and Sanoja here in the 4th. Hicks flew out to Crawford in center in the 1st. This time he bounces a ball to the right side, and Harper's throw on the money to Luzardo covering. And there's one away. Well, Pokemon Go night returns on Friday, August 7th when the Marlins take on the Angels. You get an exclusive Pokemon Go jersey, customized to match your team, and explore all new Pokestops, gyms, and battle raids throughout the game. Get your tickets at marlins.com/Pokemon Go. Maybe some of those youngsters will be back in attendance. There's Xavier Edwards, who takes a called strike. Edwards walked and stole 2nd in the 2nd. The stolen base is 18th of the year. Marlins are the only team in baseball to have 4 players with 15 or more stolen bases this season.
Yeah, the Marlins just have had trouble creating a little traffic against Luzardo, who is his usual tough out there. Talk about the run he's been on. He's allowed 1 earned run or fewer each of his last 6 starts.
That's why they gave him all that money. Well deserved.
And against left-handers, Jesus Luzardo holding lefties to a 168 average. That was before the game.
And which is why Clayton really wanted Leo Jimenez to start today, but he's got that little stomach issue he's got going on. Roller to 3rd, handled by Bohm, who throws him out. And 2 away. Well, there's a Marlins.tv July special offer. Now is the perfect time to tune in and hang out with us. You can stream every game for the rest of the season for an all-new price of $54.99. Just go to Marlins.tv, learn all about it. There's Javier Sanoja, who flew out to right field back in the second. Sanoja's had some success in his career against Luzardo, 4 for 15.
He's also had some success this year against lefties. A couple of home runs, averaged near 300.
That was a quick release that time from Luzardo, mixing up his looks, working out of the windup.
Yeah, he'll do that 8 or 10 times a game.
Just outside 2-2. And it did not miss by much, if it missed at all. But JT Realmuto, who hits at about an 80% challenge rate behind the plate, seldomly challenges. And there's ball 4 to Sanoja. Realmuto has only challenged 46 times behind the plate. He's admitted that, look, with this ABS system, I'm really good when I challenge, but I've got to do it more. He said as much.
Well, it's a new system for a veteran.
For an old guy.
Yeah, for a veteran to get used to.
Realmuto has one of the more memorable ejections in Major League history. I'm sure people have seen it in spring training a couple of years ago. He went to retrieve a ball without looking from the home plate umpire. He dropped his glove. The home plate umpire thought he was showing him up. Threw him out of the game. Did a casual walk out of the Grapefruit League facility as Stowers flies out to Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. We'll have a good camp day. Ryan Gusto back out, and Turner drills one to left, and he's left the yard. First pitch from Gusto here in the 5th. Turner, his 15th of the year.
15th of the year and 21st against the Marlins in his career. They need to have him stay hot. He's been relatively hot, but they need to keep him. Might get off to a slow start, but if he starts to get on track, there's the changeup, middle of the plate.
Wasn't that long ago that Trey Turner was Captain America for the Americans in the World Baseball Classic. Had a bunch of homers that looked like that. Let's take another look at that pretty swing he's had for all these years.
Just compact, stays on top of the ball.
There's Bryson Stott, who started the scoring with a 2-run double in the 3rd.
Yeah, Trey Turner's a guy who's combined power and speed in his career.
He sure has.
I think in a game like this, with the Phillies up, even before this inning started, Clayton McCullough, you have to do this sometimes during a long season.
Yep.
He's got to look ahead at the 4-game series.
Yep.
In New York against the Mets. So in other circumstances, we probably wouldn't have seen Ryan Gusto go out for this 5th inning. But he needs him.
Right. If, say, the Marlins had a 2-0 lead, different story. Marlins will send Perez, Junk, and Phillips to the mound in the first 3 games in New York. It hasn't been all that bad for Gusto today. He's been competitive within the strike zone. But if you give up 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, all of a sudden your offense is really forced to play catch-up against a very good starter in Luzardo, as you know. Just the reason why I'm sure Gusto's still in there, as you mentioned, Hunt, just to see what kind of length you can get out of him. But he has walked Stott on the heels of the solo shot by Turner. And the Phillies have a base runner with Harper coming to the plate. Make sure you stay tuned till the 7th inning for the stretch, brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Clayton looks pretty comfy there. It feels like he really wants to get as much as he possibly can. Squeeze the entire juice out of the orange here with gusto.
Well, he has gotten Harper twice. Once got him to hit into a double play and struck him out in the 3rd.
There is some activity in the Miami bullpen.
A little difference now. Remember, earlier in the game, Gusto was getting ahead a little bit more.
He'll be starting to get a little tired. That is ripped fair down the right field line, rolling all the way into the corner. Now it bounces back in towards right. Stott scores all the way from first on an RBI triple from Bryce Harper. It's 5-0 Philly now.
Yeah, now I think you have to go get him because his stuff just isn't the same. There's a hanger, and even though he'd retired Harper a couple of times, that ball just stayed fair. Stott was able to score, and I think initially Harper thought he had himself a double until he saw that ball kick away from Ruiz in right field.
3rd triple of the season for Harper. 18th of the season for the Phillies. It'll not be Clayton McCullough. Instead, it is Daniel Moskos. I do have to wonder here if some of the directive from Daniel is almost like, hang with us, we need you to give us here as much as you possibly can. A homer, a walk, a triple. And here is Bohm. Marlins not willing to concede another run, as you can imagine. The infield is in. And Navarrete will challenge this changeup called the ball. ABS powered by T-Mobile. We'll see if Navarrete got one right. He thinks he did. And he did.
The call is over.
Good challenge.
Very much so. Picked by Bryant. Navarrete now a perfect 4 for 4 in challenges in limited action behind the plate this season.
I think a guy too who's a little more familiar with it with his minor league experience.
Exactly. Bohm is 0 for 2 in this game, 3 for 9 in the series. A little late on that sinker. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harper at 3rd with nobody out. Real Muto on deck. Phillies have scored in each of the last 3 innings. It was pitch number 73 for Gusto.
You know, in that game he had in Philadelphia earlier, back in June, he threw 91.
Yeah. And the Phillies beat him up a little bit in that outing. Bouncer up the middle. That'll sneak into center field for a base hit. 3rd hit of the inning for the Phillies. We've got a single, a triple, and a homer. And now it's 6-0. In June, Gusto yielded 5 earned on 8 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout in 4 2/3.
Yeah, and of those runs, JT Real Muto took him deep.
And here comes JT. That ball is stung to short, picked nicely by Otto, and the turn at second in time to first, and a double play. A 6-4-3 double play.
Sometimes you just want to have a hard hit ball right at an infielder. This is the case. Nice pick. There's the turn. So that's just what the ball club needed, and it's also just what Ryan Gusto needed.
And Clayton will try to get one more out from him.
And we'll truly appreciate, if he gets one more, we'll really appreciate what he's done for the ball club.
I got to tell you, when we were in Houston, and I don't know what the team will do moving forward, I thought Gusto looked really good in the bullpen in a short burst. Very, very good velocity on the fastball.
His velocity was up?
Yes.
In that game.
Very much so. Almost as if he knew that obviously this is not a start. I can kind of air it out here. And he was throwing 95 to 96. It looked really good.
Yeah, it was up a couple of ticks.
1-2 strikes to count on Brandon Marsh. It's a fair ball. Hicks will take it to the bag. Phillies get 3 and lead by 6.
Good looking group. We wish them all well, too.
Esteury Ruiz drills this into left field, and that'll go all the way to the wall. The Marsh slip, is he okay? It's a leadoff double for Ruiz. What happened to Marsh? And now some of his teammates are pointing to the dugout to say, go check on him.
I like the aggressiveness of Ruiz taking care of that slider that sweeper middle of the plate. Just a little trip.
Well, and before the trip, though, he was tugging at the back right pocket on his britches.
That was so his pack of seeds wouldn't fall out.
I guess.
I think. But he seems to be okay.
He's okay. Hey, a leadoff double for the Marlins. Let's see if they can get a little something going here. Chip away. You've already won the series. Get a couple here, get a couple there. Make him sweat a little bit late. Marsh still kind of stretch out that right hammy or whatever's going on a little bit. Now Barreto 0 for 1, struck out in the third. Playing time has been limited, but they love him as one of the 26 players in the clubhouse. And he got hit. He almost got hit by a sweeper in his first at bat against Luzardo, who hits him here in the 5th. 2 aboard, nobody out. Make sure you get the best of Marlins baseball with a season ticket membership, exclusive events, player access, and savings on tickets, merch, and concessions. Yes, you get all of that, and you can learn more at marlins.com/members. And as a part of that, some of the exclusive access. How about a bunch of selfies with the fans? Hang out in the clubhouse, a lovely buffet, a breakfast before a game. There's a lot of perks to being a member.
That's some nice perks.
And anybody that ever says, hey, let us up in the booth, we say no problem. Marcy bunts one towards third. Bohm throws him out. That's an interesting bunt. I don't really hate it, though, Huck. Now Lopez is coming up, and who knows if you get a couple of runs here, what could happen in this game?
It's good and it's bad. I think in his mind he was trying to get himself a base hit, but Bohm sniffed it out and got a great jump from third and made the play pretty easily. But the downside, hey, at least the sacrifice bunt moves a couple runners over.
Here is Lopez. Did he check his swing? He did not. Shane Libensparger needs no help. Nothing in one. (6-0) Phillies. Bottom 5. Second and third, 1 out. Lopez singled in the third. Infield is back. And Lopez grounds one to shortstop. They'll get a run home. Sosa's throw to first in time for Lopez's 49th RBI this season at 6-1. All right, that's a start. Marlins do indeed cash in a leadoff double by Ruiz, who, by the way, has hit the only road homer against Luzardo this season. Here's Heriberto Hernandez. What do you say he clobbers one out of here and makes it 6-3?
Well, he has 7 in the month of July, so he might as well make it 8.
And a team high 15.
And of his 15, 8 have come against lefties.
So stand by.
Luzardo just does such a good job at mixing in the sweeper, the changeup, some two-seamers. Every once in a while he'll air it out a little bit with a four-seamer up in the zone. There's that sweeper.
So good.
That has really made him.
That's a pitch that Caleb Cotham, when the Marlins traded him to Philadelphia, called him and said, "Have you tried it?" No. And look at how far it's got him. It's turned into a big payday. Contract we were referencing for Luzardo runs through 2031, a 5-year, $135 million deal.
Well, they have quite an investment in their starting pitching staff. Zach Wheeler.
Nola.
We talked about Nola's contract. I think they'll have to make a decision on Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah. Hernandez flies one deep to left center field. Way back she goes. He did it. All of a sudden, things starting to feel a little bit different. Hernandez with his team-leading 16th. We ask, the big fella delivers.
We love that. I mean, we ask. We lay it out. We give you some of the stats, some of the information that you'd like to have. And Burt comes through with another blast.
Oh.
That changeup stayed out over the plate. Boy, he covered that plate so well, too, with that swing.
Bouncer to first, but the Marlins get 3 in the 5th. We got ourselves a ball game. Don't you go anywhere. Heriberto Hernandez, a 2-run bomb for big. Each Marlins home run this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care here in South Florida. So here's Brian De La Cruz facing Dax Fulton after a season-high 5 innings of work for Ryan Gusto.
Yeah, Dax trying to come back, got roughed up a little bit in a couple innings against the Padres last time out, so he'd like to come back and give Clayton 1-2 good innings.
This has a different tenor to it all of a sudden, Hud. This is not Fulton pitching down 6-0. This is important right here. Can you throw up a 0? How quickly can you do it? And how quickly can you get Edwards, Sanoja, and Stowers to the plate in the 6th inning to see if you can keep something going offensively? We'll see. It's banged down a line to short. And right there is Otto, 1 out.
Yeah, I mentioned San Diego, Dax Fulton's last outing. The game is so crazy, we don't have to tell you Was it Fernando Tatis was hitless in the series in Miami. He was 0 for 13. Padres played last night. He was 5 for 5.
How about that? Justin Crawford squares around a bunt. That'll draw Sanoha in at third. Look out.
I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but
no.
what it does, it tells Justin Crawford, I'm a lefty, I can get a little wild, might not want to dig in.
Two and 0. Crawford 2 for 2. Slider misses low for ball 3. Crawford singled and scored in the third. And Singleton was forced out at second in the fourth. Batting for the third time in the last 4 innings is Fulton. Pours one in there for strike one. The Hernandez homer, just the second home run Luzardo's allowed on the road this season. The other two Ruiz here earlier this season at Lone Depot Park. There's ball 4 to Crawford. And a one-out base runner here for Philadelphia with Sosa coming to the plate. So now Fulton just needs to twirl himself a double play ball.
He'd like Sosa to oblige.
Hernandez has already granted one request.
Marlins have turned 2 today.
And they have now turned 82 on the season, which is in the top half of baseball.
Yeah, Harper hit into one. Real Muto hit into the other.
Sosa asked for time. Marlins off to New York after the ball game today. The Phillies will go closer to home to Baltimore. Ooh, baby, he threw 95 right by him.
Yeah, that was some good heat right there. Or as they say in the area, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, this had a little, as he used to say, that had a little hair on it. It was a good fastball.
Uh-oh. Have they obliged twice? 6-4 to 3.
They have.
Double play. What do you need in the bottom of the 6th, Hut? You want 3 more?
I'd like 3 more.
All right, we'll try to
Minor league report. We highlight Davison Delos Santos because he helped break the streak. It was a 12-game losing streak for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimps as well until Davison Delos Santos decided enough was enough. A 2-run double helped end and snap that streak, guys. And of course, remember him because he made his major league debut in March and collected a couple hits and 7 at-bats.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much. So here we go to the bottom of the 6th. Heriberto, we asked him for a 2-run homer in the top half of the, or the bottom half of the 5th. He granted that request. Fulton got us the double play ball we asked for in the top of the 6th. We'll take a couple here in the last of inning number 6, but Edwards bounces out to second to begin the inning.
To give an example of what Luzardo's been doing today, coming into the inning, he had thrown 27 sweepers, 18 changeups, 18 sinkers, and 10 four-seamers. So he's really mixed it up.
He was some heated when Hernandez hit that 2-run homer. Here's Javier Sanoja. $7 o'clock airtime tomorrow, Thursday night. Marlins will be in the Big Apple for 4. That's a base hit for Javi. That's going to chase Marsh all the way into the corner. Sanoja's got a 1-out double. Look out, here come the Marlins. They will not go quietly. There's one thing we know.
Not too many sweepers that Luzardo's made mistakes with, but this one, again, when he tries to bury it down and in, it's a great pitch. Or if he tries to get the back door, it's a good pitch. But that one had a lot of the plate, and boy, Hobby ripped it.
Trying to get the boys going. What a great guy he would have at your. What a great guy he would be to have at your wedding. To get, to really get people on the dance floor.
If things were kind of quiet,
right,
and you need to stir it up on the dance floor.
There's no question.
I tell you what, I think Kyle Stowers was thinking what I was thinking. He'd gotten burned a couple of times on first pitch fastballs, and he wanted to be aggressive that time, but he didn't get the fastball.
It's the cat and mouse game.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I think 2 on Stowers. Stowers 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. He just got a piece of that sweeper to stay alive. And I'm not sure but what, maybe he broke his bat. He'll take a look. He'll knock it around. When guys do that,
oh yeah,
if it starts vibrating, you know it's broke somewhere.
Yeah, you can tell by the feel of the sound. Kids who've used aluminum never know that feeling or sound.
No. Well, sometimes you get the feeling if you play in cold weather in the Northeast and you hit one off the end of the bat in the springtime, you feel it like 3 weeks later. But no, you're absolutely right. Oh, there goes Sanoha. Here's a throw down to third, and he's safe.
Yeah, mainly because he beat Bohm there. Bohm was playing back,
and he was sleeping a little hot.
Yeah, and he was late.
Going.
He was late in covering third.
But Stowers did strike out on that fastball. That's too bad, because if Luzardo had delivered a ball there, and the Phillies are going to take a look. I thought to the naked eye like Bohm may have applied that tag on the leg of Sanoha before he got to the bag. This could be a strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. This is close. Boy, Javi started that slide really early. I think he might have got him on his.
Might have got that backside. Might have got the backside.
Right on the fanny.
Little bit before he got to the bag.
Challenge brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg Gangard.
That's a play when you're down. You got to be 100%
right
that you're going to be successful. And it's also a play I've never been crazy about. When the hitter has 2 strikes on him, it
distracts you.
It distracts the hitter because there's no way he cannot see that you're going.
They are looking at it on the big board. Oof. It's really close. The question is going to be if we can get a shot from the tremendous Glenn Roth there from right behind the left field foul pole. Can you see at any point if the glove makes contact with Javi's backside before his foot gets to the bag?
Well, Real Muto, #1 in the league in throwing runners out.
So they're going to be able to sync up that look.
That's a good look. That's the best look right there.
Yes, and they can sync up a variety of other looks to see when the tag is applied there on his rear end, where his foot is. Here's the call.
After review, the call on the field is overturned.
There you go. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the inning. So we have played 6 here at Lone Depot Park, 6-3 Philadelphia. Go active cash credit card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. Top of the 7th inning, 5 from Gusto. Inning number 2 here from Fulton. They strike him out, throw him out, double play. Retired the side in the bottom of the 6th. Trey Turner flies one to right center, fairly deep, but right at Ruiz, who makes the catch, and there's one out. One down for Fulton. Here comes Bryson Stott having a good day. 1 for 2 with a double, 2 RBIs. A walk and a run score.
This guy has kind of reverse splits as a hitter. Stott a better batting average hitter against lefties.
As a former left-handed hitter yourself, why do some guys just see it better? I assume you hit righties better without looking?
Yeah, I think so. You know, as a lefty, you tend to try to it makes you stay in. A lot of left-handers, not all, will feel they can help themselves come out of a slump a little bit against the lefty. Because against the lefty, you really have to make yourself stay in and not bail out, not let that front shoulder fly.
You know who was a guy growing up that I always thought, boy, why does he? I always thought he bailed out a lot, but he was such a prolific home run hitter. Not always. Oftentimes he was so like the swing man, Ken Griffey Jr. But sometimes you'd see him like, you know, it's like he knew he was going to get an inside heater. He'd step in the bucket and just crank one out. One out base runner. Make sure you join the Marlins for their T-Mobile Colombian celebration on Saturday, August 8th at 4:10. Watch the Marlins when they take on the Angels and take home an exclusive jersey with your ticket package. You can get your tickets by visiting marlins.com/Colombia. It's always a party. Oh, look at those dance moves.
I guarantee Javi has some of those.
Oh, God, yeah. Put a lot of those folks to shame.
He's got the Venezuelan version.
Yes, he does. It's a little bit sexier. So here is Bryce Harper, who has 3 triples this season. He tripled home a run in the 5th. You know he had 3 total triples from 2021 to 2025? He's got 3 this year.
Yeah, one of those came during a cycle. He hit for the cycle in June.
Yes, he did. So his 3 triples this season, the most in a year in 13 years. This is most since 2013. This is a guy in his 15th season.
It's because he's trying to become elite.
Oh, come on, Hud. Come on, Hud. Don't ruffle feathers. Why do you have to start? Swing and a miss. Hud, you had reverse splits in your career. You were better against lefties and righties.
What was it?
257 to 247. Now, you had almost 1,500 at-bats against righties and just a tick south of 200 ABs against lefties, but still.
Yeah, it wasn't in there a lot against lefties.
No, but you still had 2. You were better against lefties than you were the righties.
How about that?
How about that? Strike 3. Harper strikes out on a fastball. There's 2 away. Let's step aside for a message from Werner Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia.
Winning doesn't just happen by accident. At WHG, we know every case is earned before you ever step inside the courtroom. WHG. Preparation wins.
Alongside Tommy Hutnick, Kelly Sacco, and Kyle Seeloff. Thanks for making us a part of your Wednesday. Alec Bohm hits one foul. I wonder how many work from home folks or work from the ballpark folks we have here too. We've been promoting. If you don't want to be around your colleagues, just come out to the ballpark and watch a big league ball game.
You want to hide from your boss?
Oh gosh, yeah. Be out of office from like 12 to 3. Important business meeting. A couple of calls. I'm available.
Well, and then I'll save that thought.
Okay.
I'll save that work thought.
All right.
Remind me.
2 scoreless innings for Dax Fulton. Stretch time here at Lone Depot Park.
My granddaughters are already looking forward to it.
It is such a trip down memory lane seeing you and Rich and some of the fun you guys had and we all came to know and love over the years.
Yeah, I love coming to the ballpark. You know that.
I do.
Love coming here. Love seeing you guys, talking to Craig, both Craigs. Giving Chimmy a little homework for some research to make me look smart on TV.
How many trips do you think you have in you next year in retirement? You thought about that? ESPN, ABC, NBC, Expos, Yankees, Blue Jays, Marlins. Oh, look at the question mark, though. Sure you're done?
I was a free agent a lot. I got traded a lot.
How about your timing, too, though, Tommy? Coming 1997, following your good friend, the late, great Gary Carter, a friend of all of us, and then coming for that team was a great start to your career here with the Marlins.
It sure was. I mean, I had no idea. I had been working about 75 games a year with Toronto, and Toronto had won a couple of World Series in 93 and 94, 92, 93, and had no idea coming here that it would be that kind of a year for the Marlins until we started that season unfold with Jim Leland.
Craig Mish, I know you have been a South Floridian forever, and I would imagine, like all of us, you've got some lovely Tommy memories as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm most amazed by, guys, and Tommy, is that Tommy's still the first one here, and he lives in Palm Beach. Like, to me, I strive to be as dedicated and work as hard as Tommy has, and still to see when I get here, and Tommy is here every time. I mean, it's just amazing to me all the time that he's put in. But you're right, Kyle, and I go back, of course, like everybody else, to 1993, but I think that the memories that I'll have of seeing Tommy call those games leading up in those pennant chases in the World Series, to me, that'll stand out more than anything.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, I remember, because at the time, I just mentioned I was working with Toronto and doing ESPN games at the time the Marlins became a franchise in 93. And I thought it was really cool because all of a sudden now, being home on the times I had the opportunity to get at home, I could follow a game. I could watch a game and find out what was going on.
Alvarado pops out to Stott for the first out here in the 7th. Could I sign you up for one more pennant chase to finish it up? Right? One more pennant chase down the stretch?
You get the pennant chase going, give me a call. Not through this year. Right. Not through this year.
Okay.
Never know.
That's what I'm saying. You got one more left in you. Let's have a fun final 2 months. Here's Marcy after the leadoff base hit by Ruiz. The Marlins get a couple of guys on base. The tying run would come to the plate. Luzardo just threw his 92nd pitch of his day. And there goes Ruiz. He's trying to steal. Throw to second. That sneaks into center. It got away from Sosa. Ruiz might have been thrown out if Sosa could hang on to the ball. But that turns out to benefit the Marlins right there. That would have been a big no-no if he was caught stealing for the second time in as many innings, but the Marlins, I think, caught a break.
Yes, it would have. JT, unfortunately, is going to be charged with an error, but he made a really good throw. Let's take another look.
Oh, Sosa just kind of whiffed on it. He never even had it in the leather.
Boy, it's essentially you get this run in. That almost looks like a pitch out, by the way, too.
Marcy went around on a sweeper. It's 1-2. Yeah, you're right. This is a huge run because then down the stretch against a good bullpen, that's all you'd have to do is get one guy on. The tying run would be coming to the plate.
And the infield is back. So they're giving the Marlins this run on a ground ball.
Yes, they are.
And this will probably be Luzardo's last inning.
He might not have many more batters left in him. The Phillies do have activity in the bullpen. He takes outside for ball 3. You've got the leadoff man Otto Lopez on deck, who's 1 for 3 against Luzardo today. That is Seth Johnson, the right-hander, who's loosening. Ruiz at third after the stolen base in E2. That was the 7th error of the season committed by Real Muto. Marcy dropped down a sac bunt in the 5th. Struck out on a sweeper in the 3rd. Such a terrific shot. That third base camera will get a good look at the way Ruiz is hunting down Luzardo. Marcy just got a piece of that fastball, and that really stung Real Muto. It immediately touched up JT a little bit.
He's been touched up. Home plate umpire Shane Livensparger was touched up early in the game, first inning. So the two of those guys know what it's like.
brothers in arms. Marcy has seen a lot of pitches from Luzardo today. The count is full. The tying run is standing in the on-deck circle in the form of Otto Lopez. And a 3-2 misses low for ball 4. Boy, Marcy kick-started that huge bottom of the 9th inning on Monday night. And that is an awesome plate appearance right there.
Can't tell you how huge that was for Jacob Marcy to be patient, fouled off some tough ones, and up there against a really tough lefty. So good job by Jacob Marcy.
That is not going to be the end of the day for Luzardo, but he's in a bit of a bind, and Caleb Cotham is coming out to the mound to talk to him.
I'm saying thank you very much to Don Mattingly for leaving Luzardo in to pitch to Otto Lopez,
who's already seen him 3 times, collected his 5th career hit off of Luzardo in the 3rd. So he's 5 for 21 against them in his career, which on the surface may not seem excellent. But Lopez having a great season. He's seen plenty of Luzardo this year. You expect a good battle here. If he can stay out of a double play and at least cash in that 4th run, Marlins are going to have a real opportunity to come all the way back to win this game late.
Yeah, that's a good point. Stay out of the double play, at least get the 4th run in. And you never know, maybe more.
I don't think in an effort to stay out of the double play, Marcy would steal here, but they do love the way that he runs the bases. That would probably just be way too aggressive. There is ball 1 on Lopez. A ground out, a single, and an RBI ground out for Lopez today, who was twice grounded out to the left side of the diamond. Ruiz at 3rd with Marcy at 1st. 6-3 Phillies. We're in the last of the 7th. Luzardo comes set just above the belt, delivers. Lopez, liner to center, shallow. Crawford coming on. That's a base hit. It fell in front of him. It's 6-4. Second RBI of the afternoon for Otto. That was one of those, it sounded like he hit it better than he did, and I think for a split second it might have froze Crawford.
Yeah, automatic once again. He gets a changeup, probably on the end of the bat, and anytime an outfielder sees a full swing from a hitter, but it's on the end of the bat, you kind of got to pause. Well, that ball dropped. Marcy had a better angle. He saw he could move on to second base. At third base tagging, Ruiz had to make sure the ball dropped.
And that's going to end Luzardo's afternoon. A call to the bullpen. We'll be right back. Your old right-hander out of Concord, North Carolina, is coming on in relief. Now, this Phillies bullpen has been really good with one exception in this series. That was Johan Duran on Monday night. And Seth Johnson will begin his afternoon by facing Heriberto Hernandez, who clobbered his team-leading 16th home run of the season in the 5th. Tying run at first as Hernandez taking all the way for strike 1. Good fastball at 97.
Yeah, from Seth Johnson, you're going to see primarily fastball slider. Occasionally he has a curve, a sweeper, sinker, but mainly fastball sliders when he gets into a jam.
Thinking 2 on Hernandez, who had a really nice pass there on that fastball.
And it was a good one. Good velocity.
Marcy at 2nd, Lopez at 1st.
Yeah, the bullpen's been good. As you pointed out, everyone except Duran.
0-2. Heriberto lays off a curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, everybody except Duran. 7 in the 3rd innings. No runs. Just 4 hits. So they've done the job.
Hernandez popped it up. He got, in his mind, what he felt like was a hittable sweeper. Infield fly rule in effect. There's 2 away.
Yeah, sometimes you get that good pitch. You just get under it.
And here comes Liam Hicks, who's 0 for 3. But he's got an opportunity to do some damage. He is 4 for 21 is Hicks on this homestand. Last homered in Houston. Tyler Zuber loosening. Looks like he'll get the 8th after 2 scoreless from Dax Fulton.
Nice job by Dax Fulton.
Very good.
Yeah, to keep this game in check.
Big, tall lefty. Here's the 1-0 to Hicks. And Hicks will challenge.
Like might be up a little bit.
Yes, he was thinking about it, and he convinced himself. He talked himself into making this and issuing this challenge. I think it's going to benefit him. ABS, once again, powered by T-Mobile. And it's 2-0. It's a great challenge.
The call's overturned.
What'd you say earlier? These catchers know. Seth Johnson facing the Marlins for the first time this season. Young man debuted in 2024. The 2-0 is high for ball 3. Edwards is on deck. If you lose Hicks, the tying run would be at second base. And what do you do here? A 3-0 count, Hut? How do you handle this? If you're up there, we talked about swinging away 3-0.
I think you make him take.
Oh, challenge another.
It looked like he was taking all the way.
Yes, he should have challenged that one too. And I think he knows that was ball 4. He should have challenged it. But now it's 3-1. That's a generous strike called by Shane Livensparger. And there is ball 4. No challenge from Realmuto. That was borderline. And the bases are loaded in the bottom of the 7th inning. The tying run will be standing at second. In a game not long ago, going to the bottom of the 5th, it was 6-0 Philadelphia. What an opportunistic moment here for Xavier Edwards, but first Caleb Cotham's coming back out. Seth Johnson is working to a 5.63 ERA.
Blake Lally talking it over with Jacob Marcy about his AB, drawing the walk. Saw Meza in this series already.
So Marcy is at third. Lopez is at second. A good plate appearance by Hicks. He's at first. Tying run at second with 2 outs here in the last of the 7th for Miami. Wouldn't this be something if they find a way to tie it or take the lead in the 7th inning of a game they trailed 6-0 after 5? Or I should say 4.5.
Well, remember when Xavier got on that little home run tear? Well, it's been a while, so you can say he's due.
Edwards is facing Seth Johnson for the 3rd time in his career, but these two have not squared off since 2024. September of 2024. Edwards takes strike 1, a slider. Edwards 0 for 2 against Johnson with an RBI and a walk.
I'm not thinking home run. I'd just like to see one of those slashing line drives into left center.
Thinking 2 on X. A couple of sliders to start him. I guess maybe that was the directive from Caleb Coffin, who went out to chat with Johnson.
Mainly because it looked like he was having trouble throwing his fastball for strikes.
You know, Edwards has been striking out a lot lately, but you still feel so good about his ability, at the very least, to just put the ball in play. Now thinking 2 on Edwards with the bases loaded and 2 out. Line drive, base hit! He did it, Hunt! He did it! 2 runs are going to score. The Marlins have come all the way back to tie
it. It wasn't quite left center, but it was left field, and it was slashed, and it was on the line, and it was a tremendous at bat by Xavier Edwards. Here comes another slider. Don't slider me again. I'll stay back, rip it into left field. Great AB by X.
A game the Phillies once led 6-0 is tied here in the bottom of the 7th. And now the go-ahead run is at second. And here's Sanoja. That one goes all the way to the backstop. A wild pitch, and both runners will move up 90 feet. Let's watch Otto Lopez at the end of that play. He crosses the plate. Boy, he's wincing a little bit, and he was a little gimp getting back to the dugout. We'll keep an eye on Otto Lopez moving forward. A wild pitch by Johnson, second and third. Now the go-ahead run is 90 feet away. And Sanoja slaps one foul. What can Sanoja learn from the at-bat by Edwards?
A little different because he's a righty. X was up there left-handed. One thing you do know that he's been throwing a lot of sliders because he threw a lot of sliders to Xavier, was having trouble getting his fastball over.
Hicks at third, Edwards at second. We're tied, the 1-1. Whoa, man. Johnson is
still having trouble with that fastball.
Couldn't tell. A Phillies ball club that has lost 4 consecutive series coming out of the All-Star break. Trying to salvage one today. They led 6-0. We're tied.
If he goes back to the slider.
2-1. Swinging a pop-up. And that's foul into the seat.
Sometimes when you guess slider, you might go out of the zone a little bit to chase it.
And Sanoja's, he's whacking himself upside of the head saying that same exact thing.
He knew that Johnson's struggling with the fastball. He missed badly. He guessed slider. He got it, but it was a little off the plate.
Javier Sanoja, this is a guy that's had some success against Johnson. He also faced him a couple of seasons ago, but he's 2 for 2 with a double and an RBI. Speaking of 2-2, the 2-2 pitch. Is popped up. Over towards first. Harper has got it, but the Marlins score 3 times. Back out there in the 8th, but he's stretching out that maybe a little cranky left leg or something he's got going on.
Something's bothering him, but it hopefully is just something little, and he'll work through it.
Xavier Edwards has tied this game with a 2-out, 2-run single in the bottom of the 7th. The Marlins got 3 in the 5th. They get 3 more in the 7th. And here is Tyler Zuber to face the Phillies. It'll be Real Muto, Marsh, and De La Cruz in the 8th. 20th appearance of the season for Zuber. Real Muto pops this one up. Outside of first, over near the dugout. Oh, Brian, again. He has given it all he has today, making his 6th start of the season. He is going to make sure he squeezes every ounce out of it.
He always does, and that's why he's beloved by his teammates. And you do that over in the opposing dugout, you're not going to get any help.
No. They'll let you tumble twice before they might pick you up. Real Muto 0 for 2 this afternoon and 1 for 4 in the series. He did not play last night. Swing and miss with fastball. So the Marlins today have used Gusto, Fulton, and now Zuber. We are still assuming, because there was no update, that Peterson is unavailable. This obviously would have been a great spot for him, so you can draw your own conclusions there. We used Fairbanks last night. Boucher's been used in the first 2 games of this series. Bacher looms somewhere, but it's Zuber. And 1-2 missed high.
Yeah, I think after Zuber, you certainly have Bacher and Fairbanks.
Gibson got a reprieve last night. He had pitched in back-to-back games, although he did loosen. Real Muto grounds one to the left side. Otto throws him out. There's one away. JT continues to get down the line well, even as he gets a little bit older.
I think John King would be available, too.
More than available.
Yeah.
Let's give a little bit more love to Dax Fulton. 2 innings, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Kind of kept the Marlins hanging around. He could have easily come in, given up 3 runs.
And we've seen that happen with other pitchers during the course of the year.
That's right. Brandon Marsh laid on a 96-mile-an-hour heater.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's 8-0, and
it's over.
You're kind of deflated.
Yeah, pack it up, win a series, go to New York.
So tip of the cap to Dax.
Absolutely. And everybody else who's contributed offensively, of course. I'm thinking, too, on Marsh. Zuber working quickly.
And working a good sweeper right there for strike 2.
Be a very proud young man right there. Marsh 1 for 3. That'll roll foul. What's interesting about this is you start to play this out. You've got Mack on the bench, Conine on the bench, Paulie on the bench.
Got some good thump. You got some good thump over there.
The Marlins, now that they've tied it, I don't necessarily know who this tie game would be more advantageous to, but you've got some speed, you've got some defense, and you're right, you've got some thump on the bench. 0-2 struck him out. See you later. Marsh expanded the strike zone on that four-seamer. Make sure you celebrate Billy's birthday at Lone Depot Park. Be one of the first 5,000 kids on Sunday, August 9th to receive a free Billy Kids lunchbox presented by Pringles. And catch the Marlins take on the Angels at 1:40. You can get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets. Hope the Pringles are inside the lunchbox for the kids.
Hey, and nothing keeps the momentum going better after you've tied it to have your pitcher, in this case Tyler Zuber, go out and have a nice 1-2-3 inning.
You're right about that. There's De La Cruz, who came into the game 8 for 11 to start his season back in the big leagues with Philadelphia. Oh boy, Zuber's got his good stuff, and they continue to expand the strike zone. That four-seam heater must look juicy to some of these guys. Nothing in 2 on Brian De La Cruz. Zuber delivers. Just outside. Zuber last pitched in game 1 of this series. We're 2/3 of an inning, allowed a run. It was not earned, 2 hits. And he's ready with a 1-2. Just outside. Both teams with both challenges remaining. What a tie ball game. Who saw that coming? Two. Got him! Zuber blows the doors off the Phillies with that good high country heater here in the 8th. This by Billy. The Marlins have stormed back. They once trailed this game 6-0 against Philadelphia today. And Jonathan Bolin will take over the pitching duties left to him by Johnson. 6 runs, by the way, charged to Luzardo. All 3 inherited base runners scored. Or all 2, or both of them, I should say. So here is Stowers, followed by Ruiz, and then Navarreto. But you're starting to feel like this is the juncture of the ball game that Clayton's going to start to go to that bench a little bit, see if he can mix it up and beat Donnie managing. Stowers 0 for 3 today. He's due.
By the way, those 6 runs against Luzardo, the most since going back to May 8th, when he allowed 6 in a game to the Rockies.
For the Marlins, their last win when trailing by 6+, August 1st of last year. When they beat the New York Yankees, you might recall 13-12.
Kind of recall that one.
Still sits front of mind.
Bolin has been absolutely tremendous for the Phillies.
This is a big challenge right here, Hut. Oh,
yeah.
Stowers got it right. It's 3-0.
Last 30 appearances for Jonathan Bolin. His ERA is 0.96. The Marlins did it against Duran. They might as well do it against Bolin.
3-0. Oh, he was swinging 3-0. Hut, this could be a crazy take, and fans might say nonsense. I feel like we can feel up here the Phillies are feeling like this is really not going well right now. Like they're on their heels.
No, you get a feeling. Absolutely.
You
absolutely.
It feels like they're like in the position the Marlins were in for 2.5 weeks. You're waiting for something to go disastrously wrong. The 3-1 to Stowers from Bolin. Another fastball. He challenged him, and Stowers came up empty.
And on the other hand, everybody in that Marlins dugout maybe a little more focused.
Donnie's seen a lot of baseball over the years. 3-2. High pop-up outside of third into the seats.
Well, he's stayed 3 in a row. Last 3 fastballs, he's tried to stay up. The way we saw a lot of pitchers pitching Kyle Stowers when he was first acquired. He's adjusted to that. Let's see if he adjusts here.
Ball 4.
Good adjustment. He took it.
And the go-ahead run is aboard with nobody out to start the 8th. Such a good AB and plate appearance. So here is Esteury Ruiz, who's having a good day. He has singled, he has doubled, he has a stolen base. Or no, he was caught stealing. No, he had the stolen base. And then went to third on the E2. And he shows bunt, and he bunts it foul up the third base line. I was going to ask you if this is a sacrifice situation here.
Yeah, and you have Navarrete on deck who's not going to hit because there's a boatload of lefties over there that Clayton has a choice of. Looks like he's choosing Griffin Conine.
So Griff presumably going to hit for Navarrete, and he's going to have to face Bolin, who has to face the requirement of 3 batters. Will Ruiz square around again?
Yes.
He is not? Yes, he is. And he bunts another one foul. If it's a sac bunt, did he wait a little too long?
Some guys, he did, but some guys just feel, right-handed batters, more comfortable as opposed to squaring around.
And just totally exposing himself.
Yes, they feel much more comfortable trying to drop down a bunt the way he's tried it. He's missed both times. Okay.
Would Stowers ever think about trying to swipe a bag?
No.
That's why I asked. And he bunted it foul. That hit him. Boy, they desperately wanted Ruiz to get a bunt down there.
See, and I think with 2 strikes, he was trying to go up the line with 2 strikes, and you're bunting, just bunt it back to the pitcher.
Yeah.
Don't try to be perfect with it. That's the only problem there.
So Esteury strikes out on the foul bunt. I don't know if that ball was going to stay fair. I believe it hit him when he came out of the batter's box, didn't it? I think. Either way, it's a strikeout, and Conine is going to hit. And Anthony Perez, the Marlins bat boy, just came flying out of the dugout and delivered Shane Livensparger a new pair of fresh baseballs. Well, there was Mr. Marlin himself, Jeff Conine. He is hanging around in this one. He left the other night when Griff had the walk-off. And there's ball 1. The other night, the first career walk-off hit in RBI for Griffin Conine. It was a big one off Duran.
Got that curveball up in the zone. He said he was looking up. He did laugh and say, if it had been that heater, I might not have gotten it.
High drive, center field. This is way back. Gone. Come on, Niner. See what you get, Niner, when you stay around. Griffin Conine, a gut punch to the Philadelphia Phillies.
Unanswered runs. What a move by Clayton to pinch hit Conine. You send a little thump to the plate. And boy, thump did he ever. Here's Marcy.
He got the changeup. Launch angle, perfect. Distance, perfect.
And he knew it.
Swing, absolutely beautiful.
He knew it. Oh. And Niner knew it. You don't think Dad still cares a little bit? And now he's on the horn.
I'm going to text him and say, thanks for staying around.
Well, Marcy launches one the other way towards the line, and that's caught by Marsh. 8 unanswered runs by the Marlins. They lead by 2. A 424-foot homer. And that means baseball fans, you can score as well. Get your free 20-ounce Baja Blast by registering now at BajaBlastHomeRuns.com. Oh, my goodness. So here's Otto Lopez batting with 2 outs. Marlins leading by 2. It was another Marlins home run for healthcare. Brought to you by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida. I think Griff is still trying to catch his breath. Lopez bounces one to short. The inning is over, but the damage is done. It's a pinch hit, 2-run go-ahead homer by Griffin Conine. For the first time, the Marlins lead today to dead central. Pete Fairbanks is going to come on to try to save this game when we return. But it's the Marlins 8 and the Phillies 6 as we go to the top of the 9th, and that's one crowd pop-up. Inning after Griffin Conine became just the 4th player in franchise history with 2 go-ahead pinch hit home runs in the same season. 8-6 Marlins in a game they once trailed 6-0. Here's Fairbanks, and it'll be Crawford, Sosa, and Turner. 8-9-1 due up for the Phillies. Fairbanks' 36th appearance. He's got 14 saves. He saved game 2 last night. Joe Mack now catching.
Sometimes closers love to come right back at it. Less than 24 hours.
And he looked really sharp last night.
Yes, he did.
Here's the 1-1 to Crawford, who's 2 for 2. And that is strike 2. The last team to sweep a series immediately after ending a 12-game losing streak were the 2012 Chicago Cubs, who swept the Padres at the end of May. One-two. Missed outside. Should the Marlins hang on to win this one, they would be just 2 games back of the Phillies in the standings. Two-two.
Justin Crawford's been a tough guy to retire today. He's been on base all 3 times, a couple of singles, walk.
Got him. Held on to by Mack. There's one away.
Don't have to tell you how important that first out is in a situation like this. So a big out for Pete, who blew the fastball by him.
Here is Edmundo Sosa. He's 1 for 3. And a cutter is taken for strike 1. Boy, the Phillies are really content with getting on the plane to Baltimore with both challenges in their back pocket. That was easily a challengeable call that would have gone the other way, but it benefits Fairbanks. The 0-1. Nothing in 2. Maybe a nice time to remind the audience that in a series of 3+ games against the Phillies, the Marlins have not swept one of those at home since May of 2017. That is 10 seasons ago, 9 years. Clayton probably thinking, what kind of ball club am I managing? This is crazy. Sosa with a high fly ball to center field. He got underneath it. And that heater lands in the mitt of Jacob Marcy. There's 2 out. And they're starting to feel it now. Here is Trey Turner. He is very aggressive. Infield is back. They play him to pull the pitch. He takes it for strike 1. Got a slider. Turner 2 for 4 with a homer. And the 0-1 pitch. It's nothing in 2. And now the Marlins are a strike away. In a ball game they once trailed 6-0 this afternoon. They got 3 in the 5th, 3 in the 7th, and 2 in the bottom of the 8th. 0-2 coming. On an appeal, he did not go. Phillies are having a rough time coming out of the All-Star break. So too were the Marlins before this series started. 1-2. Fly ball to center field. Marcy is ranging over in the gap, and the Marlins win it. They sweep the Phillies with 8 unanswered runs this afternoon. And a dramatic go-ahead pinch hit 2-run home run by Griffin Conine, who had a series I would imagine he will never forget.
I'm close to being at a loss for words, but I'm not quite there. The fact that they were able to put together the 8 unanswered runs at one point in time, losing 6-0. They came off the deck, got the big 2-run homer by Heriberto Hernandez in the 5th inning. They scored 3 more times in the 7th, and then the 2-run pinch hit shot by Griff. And as I said, a real gut punch to this Philadelphia team.
Miami Marlins baseball on Marlins TV has been presented to you by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. And by Hard Rock Bet, the official betting partner of the Miami Marlins. Those frowns have been turned upside down in the clubhouse. The Marlins will fly high to New York, where the New York Mets await for 4 games this weekend. But Clayton McCullough's boys have bounced back, and they've got up off the canvas, and they have swept the Phillies at home in a series of 3